doing, Zeddy? Thanks for being here today.
Hello?
Yeah. Welcome. Jeffrey, Celeste, Teresa.
Yeah.
I was going to say Tessa, but who was there? Joe and Donald. Awesome. Cool. We got a small enough group to be interactive. Sometimes we've had 20, 25 people in here. So thanks for spending some beautiful time on a Tuesday afternoon and learn about neuropathy. So, who, where's my, there we go. Who already knows they have neuropathy? They're dealing with it, symptoms. Okay, learning about somebody else or supporting somebody else. Awesome. That was Taylor what we're doing today. So we'll jump right in. Briefly, my voice gets tight from time to time. You might have heard of Robert Kennedy Jr. We have a similar vocal thing, love or hate him, but that's what's going on. So if you need me to repeat something to say so, I'm happy to make sure you get the information today, okay? So that's what we're doing. What I see commonly is that people are, well, they get hopeless, right? You just like, life is passing by and you're going, I can't do the things I wanted to do, right? I'm not sleeping well anymore, or fill in the blank, right? And I'm going to share some stories of people that have been in your shoes not long ago to give you some hope back. There's some regular people that are winning, right? And so Shane is one example here. I was in pain 2 units down and I've got some balance. Most of the pain on my right side is gone and my left side is improving. Most people I run into with neuropathy, I don't run into them, they come to see me, right? But they're going, I've been told I have to live with it. There's no hope, it's just going to get worse. You may have heard that before. And we're here to show you a different approach, a different way, ask different questions, and get different results. Is that fair? So that's where we're going today. Let's take the first step. Some people are just curious, what even is neuropathy? And the bottom line here is that it's nerve damage. Okay? There's brain and spine, which is central nerves. Everything else in your body that's not brain and spine is considered peripheral. So it's sort of a junk drawer term. It could be one leg. It's most commonly both feet that get symptoms, and then it's the hands, and then it could be like a sciatica or any number of things that are, one arm numb, etc. But it's nerve damage. And then the question is why, right? So that's what we need to look at. So this workshop isn't for everybody. If you're looking for another, pill or a quick fix or something like that, this is not for you. That doesn't work. If you're looking for answers, like what's really going on and how do we actually deal with the core issues of what's driving it, then hang in and buckle up because we're going to show you some pretty cool stuff. So my goal is to show you natural ways to deal with this, and not really deal with it, to actually heal it. To improve 50 to 100% from where you are now, even when other systems and treatments you tried have failed. Who's thinking, you're right, a little skeptical? It's okay. Yeah, thanks for being honest, right? If we can't be honest, what do we got? So you'll see why we can make that claim in a little bit when we do our live demo, and when we get an opportunity to actually get an experience on what that's like, actually having some of the therapies we would use commonly, and we'll show you what that's like in real time. Would that be helpful? Awesome. So, that's target heavy, but I don't need to know about that. There we go. So what I want you to walk away with tonight is understanding what's really causing neuropathy. Okay? What's reversible and what's not. And then show you how we measure this stuff and show you what next steps can be so that you take your next steps with confidence. Okay? Is there a way to make that quiet? Maybe, but we'll go with it. There's 20 million people dealing with this, and that's just in the US, and this is easily 10-year-old data. So you add in, other countries with China and India, like it's crazy. In the US, it's 1 in 6 people over age 45 dealing with neuropathy. It's a bunch of people. Why is that so high? Can you catch it? Is it contagious?
No.
Thankfully, no, right? But it's like, what's going on? Why is this such a big deal? We'll talk about that in a moment. Traditional models. So for those of you that have been diagnosed and are maybe doing something about it, what are they giving you? What are the options that you've been given? Lyrica. Gabapentin. Those are the top two. Wow, okay. Yeah. What else?
Meloxicam.
Okay, and the list continues. Like medications. Yeah. And so there's value in that in the sense that it can change your perception of what you're feeling. Right? It changes what's happening or your perception of the brain, but it's not actually fixing nerves. Right? And so that can give you some relief, but it doesn't actually, and then usually what happens on the dosages, do they go up or down? Yeah, over time they keep climbing up and up and up. So they might, dull pain, they don't restore function, and usually you need to know this too, that ultimately, Lyrica, gabapentin, they actually create more of a neuropathy problem. And so that's one of the reasons dosages go up is because they're actually making the nerves worse over time. Okay? And bottom line is it's symptom management, right? They're actually restoring function. And so nerves don't die from lack of drugs, they die from lack of nourishment. Kind of a basic idea there. But what I've seen commonly happens is this, like, life gets taken away. Right? Like we went to Brigit's Glen for Father's Day, and this was like Finger Lakes a couple anniversaries ago, and it's just like saw this staircase, and I thought, man, my patients on this side would hate to even attempt that, let alone, and then they miss the beauty on the other side, and it just got me thinking about everything that neuropathy can slowly take away from you.
At least that one has handrails.
Right? Yeah. At least this one has handrails. Yeah.
Doesn't have
No, it does not. Not one. So, the question for you go, like, when do you stop doing it? What is diminished in your life because you've been dealing with this? I think that's what I don't need to know that now, but just be thinking through that, because I know at the end of the day, that's what we're trying to help you support and get back. Here's a big idea. The only way to reverse neuropathy is to actually restore nerves. How do you restore nerves? Well, you have to nourish them. Just like a plant. Plants need what? Sunlight, water, right? Nutrients in the soil, air, right? Yeah. So all that's required for the plant to grow, and your nerves are no different. If you don't have the right environment, the nerves got to be mad at you, right? So that's the big picture. Is that we can start to now using that same plant analogy. If that plant, let's say it's withering and it's dying, right? And you change all the stuff, you give it more sunlight, you give it all the right nutrients and food, but that plant's just too far gone, is it going to come back? No, it's done, right? So nerves are similar. Once you've lost 85% function in that nerve, that's usually the point of no return. There's going to be some permanent nerve damage there. Okay, we'll show you what that looks like and how we can check that later on. But that's sort of the big picture. Makes sense? Add nourishment back to the nerves. It's got that opportunity to actually thrive and grow again. So, 3 primary drivers we see all the time that are actually making neuropathy worse. And we're going to go back a little bit to this big picture. I want to show you why neuropathy happens. Why does the nerve or the plant start to wither? So, this will be your little model. So if you go home and so it's like, what was that workshop about? You can tell them with this in a nutshell. So this is going to be your nerve cell. Put your hand up there for me. Yep. Nerve cell, and these are the blood vessels that feed the nerve cell. Okay? So now make a fist as tight as you can. Let's say we hold that for 15 minutes. What are you going to notice?
Pain.
Pain. What else might you feel?
Numbness.
Numbness, yeah. What else might you feel?
Tingling.
Yeah, tingling. Kind of sounds like neuropathy symptoms, doesn't it? So what's the idea? When you choke off the blood supply and you start starving the nerve and suffocating the nerve, it's going to let you know. How do you feel when you don't have any food and you can't breathe? Like you're going to die, right? Yeah. So how do nerves communicate that? Pain, numbness, tingling, right? They're letting you know the signaling that's available to them. Okay, so that's the idea. If we can restore blood flow back to the tissue, and get the inflammation down and start to restore that oxygenation, we can win. Does that make sense? So that's what we're looking at. 3 primary drivers are oxygen delivery, right? Inflammation. It's like sunburn on the inside if you're inflamed, and breaking down in nerve signaling. If one or all 3 of those are a factor, then you have a setup for neuropathy symptoms. Okay? If you don't address all of them, or you only get 2 of the 3, guess what? Your symptoms hang around a lot longer, or tend to even get worse. So, number 1 is that oxygen delivery. Okay? So one thing we do for that is we do a thermal scan. Anybody seen that before? Okay. So in short, well, you may have heard of the Doppler. They do like a Doppler scan for arterial, like you have blood flow to the extremities, right? And so commonly the patients that I've seen that have had that done, they're like, oh, my arteries are fine. And they're not wrong, but what they're not looking at is the capillaries. And that's the little blood vessels that feed the nerve cell. Your arteries are the main highways. So think about wintertime here when it snows. People lose their minds, right? And what do they plow first? Right? The main artery, and make sure you get the big roads open. And then they might get to your driveway, if you're lucky, right? So the back roads are the last things. That's your capillaries. But your arteries can be fine in terms of getting blood flow down there, but the back roads are jammed up. Make sense? So this lets us know with an image, are we getting blood flow to the tissue or not? Okay? And you can see the 2 colors that are normal in my office are red and white. So you see the hands and the torso here are red and white. What are you noticing in the feet? Right. Yeah, they're cooler colors. That means we're not getting oxygen to the tissue or blood flow to the tissue. 6 weeks later, what do you notice now?
Right.
Coming back. So what we've done is gone from here to here, starting the body's ability to get nutrients back into the tissue, which then means it now has an opportunity to start, we're changing the soil, right? We're changing the environment. You with me? Okay. So, number 2 then is inflammation. And here are the triggers for inflammation. The big ones are prolonged stress. Right? When you're stressed out, do we do more relaxing or do we more like, right? Yeah. So that actually makes blood vessel or blood go to your vital organs and not to the extremities. You with me? So prolonged stress, whether that's physical, mental, emotional, whatever that is, global pandemics, etc. Not to mention all the personal things each one of us have gone through that contribute to our story. Pathogens, we're number 1 in the world. Pennsylvania is for what illness? What disease? Lyme disease. That's a big one. That correlates with neuropathy. So there's a particular organism called Bartonella, and that organism is known to create neuropathy symptoms. It's a tick-borne illness like Lyme, or it's in that same kind of tick-borne vectors. Okay, that's something we screen for often in our assessments. Also, then all the stuff Mama told you not to eat, all junk food, and chemicals, medications. You need to be aware of that. The statin drug, this can make this worse. Obviously, chemotherapy is a known, that creates neuropathy symptom. They know that. So there are several different medications that can create challenges with that. One simple thing to do is if you are on meds, check with your pharmacist. Have them run a scan or a list, like all your medications, and we'll see if there's drug-drug interactions and what sort of symptoms that might be bringing up. So that's usually more helpful than with your provider, because if you have several providers, right, the pharmacist can have a little better eye on everything all in one shot. Does that make sense? That's a little tip you can do. Heavy metals, things like mercury, lead, they're bad, and they damage nerves. And a lot of times people have mercury in their mouth from dental fillings, or they're taken out poorly, or they got a cracked tooth, or so those sort of things can leach mercury into the nerves, and then that creates problems. Yeah, there's other ones too, like platinum is used in some of the chemotherapy drugs and can cause damage to the nerves as well. So toxins, bottom line, can be a problem that creates inflammation. Okay? And then chronic dehydration, half your body weight in ounces of water a day. Okay, good spring water is ideal. Because if you don't have enough fluid, you can't get blood flow, right? So that's the other key player for that. So those are our main triggers for inflammation. Who has at least one or two of those in their world, right? Yeah. So it's like, okay, how do we minimize that? How do we put the fire out so that those nerves have a chance to heal? When we start removing inflammation, I'll tell you Isabel's story. She says, I'm on the top of the world, flying on a cloud no matter what are the circumstances. I am feeling my best in my body at 53. A year ago, I was told that I was very sick. When she came in, severe neuropathy, both feet, her hands were getting numb. She had type 2 diabetes. It was managed, but it was really wrecking her body. And she put on her intake big word, if something's not different, I'll probably be dead in a year. Like she was in a bad spot. And she said, Doc, I want to see my daughter graduate high school, go to college, and help her put me into all the mom stuff. And she's like, I'm afraid I'm not getting around for that. So she was all, she's like, I'm going to do what it takes to do that. So we helped her with detoxing the junk out of her system, lifestyle changes, got inflammation down. Hydration was a piece of her puzzle, and then light therapy. You may have heard of red light. You're going to see some of that here in a minute. 2, light energy actually energizes the body, allows the blood vessels to regrow, and it can energize all kinds of tissue that needs help. So we'll show you that in a minute. When we got through that, type 2 diabetes is gone. She's, her daughter's now junior in college, and she's, doing all the mom stuff and the visits and, all the normal things. One day, and Isabel's a wonderful French lady, like from France, came over to the U.S. and fun sense of humor. Doing great one day. She's doing like, hey, what's going on? What's next? How you doing? And she's like, Doc, I'm doing fabulous, and I'm giving you a bill. I'm like, what's going on, Isabel? What's happening? And she said, I've lost 70 pounds, and none of my clothes fit anymore, and I'm giving you the bill for my whole new wardrobe. So this is 70 pounds lighter. She did all the work to make that happen, and literally changed her life. Like I said, diabetes is gone.
How long did it take her to get through?
That was probably in the 6-month mark. Yeah, 6 to 8 months. I remember, I don't have it exactly, but in that neighborhood. Yeah. And then we saw her, earlier this year. She's down another 15 pounds or so. So she's keeping her momentum. It's not one of those rebound, comes back. When you make the right changes and the body says cool, and you're on a good pace, right? So that's what we're after. Is the longevity of it, not just. Does that make sense? So yeah. I say this every time too. Not everybody's ready for the change that is possible that you could make. Honestly, if your life completely changed, what would that look like? Some people are just scared of that, and that's okay. But just letting you know that major things can happen when you treat the body the way it needs to be treated. So a lot of people are, they're treated as blindfolded. They don't actually measure stuff. They don't have baselines, or they get a partial baseline, like they've had the EMG studies done. Oh, the nerves are whatever, right? It's only a one-way street. It tells you, is it working from the spine down? It doesn't tell you what you feel. There's no machine on the planet that tells you what you feel, right? So that's it's helpful information, but it's not the full picture of what's going on. And so you can't really fix what you don't measure, right? And where are we at? What's going on? How do we fix it? So we like to measure that stuff and look for the root causes, which then improves balance. We see pain reduction commonly. Confidence comes back. So the question isn't really, is neuropathy able to be improved? Is yours able to be improved? That's what we need to figure out. So a couple more stories. Jay, when he came in, he was in bad shape. He was really, literally, Judy was driving him. He was riding like this in the car. He couldn't sit down. His back was so bad. He thought it was from his feet. He was a painter. And he had to quit his job. He couldn't do ladders anymore and all that. And turned out neuropathy, and he had a bad disc in his back. And we got him back to work and living his life again. But I noticed this word we. We were miserable. Judy was the caretaker in all of this. Right? So it's not just the person dealing with the symptoms, it's the people, in their world and their support network that are involved as well. Rick, the reason Rick came in, sure his sleep was lousy, 5 to 6 times a night, waking up. Anybody else sleeping poorly? Yeah.
I'm lucky to get 2 or 3.
Wow. So that
For 4 months now.
Wow.
I got cataract surgery after that. It's all been pure health.
Man.
I'm
Sorry, Jeff.
Bad shape.
Yeah.
That's what I'm here.
Well, I'm glad you're here. And hopefully this guy gives you a little bit of hope then, because he, sleeping better, he's 75% better. The reason he showed up was he had his son with severe special needs, and he wouldn't be the dad that he knew he could be. He's like, I gotta deal with this and get better, right? So that's the thing. Because it's not an easy road. You have to know what motivates you. What's the real why? What are you going for? Because if you can latch onto that, you can support all the way around that and help you, move in that direction. But and sometimes it is. If I just slept better, then I'd have my world would change. So Sandy saw a lot of progress when he came in. Bad shape, couldn't walk. Right leg's pain-free, left leg's better. Treatment's helping, and it's worth every penny. So again, just to encourage you, there's people that have been through this and are doing really good. Leroy, I mentioned him. He got 50% better, and he was type 2 diabetic. Another painter, you can see paint on his shirt. He would not stop drinking turkey yellow sweet tea. He's like, I'm just not going to stop drinking. Like, dude, you get better, but I mention that because he still improved, even though he wasn't perfect, right? So everyone's like, oh, well, the better you can do with the program, typically the better results you get, but you don't need to be perfect to make progress or headway. So I mentioned that. And then we see fun things like, I can now feel my toes for the first time in 5 to 6 years, similarly 10 years, and then we'll see her balance, was really bad. Her husband would drive her over an hour to get here for appointments, and now we never see her because she's doing great. So, yeah, what if you're next? What if we can have a story like that? So, I'm not going to blow smoke and say we can fix everything. We can't. We don't accept every case that comes through for various reasons. But we can't save every nerve, right? A lot of them can be reawakened, and we just got to find out what those 3 factors are dealing with. Is it oxygen? Is it, inflammation? Is it a nerve issue? And see what's going on there. Obviously, the earlier we catch it, the typically easier it is to work with. So that's the other, like anything else. You stop the leak when it's this big, it's way better than when it starts to flood your basement, right? So here's what we're going to show you now is what is the nerve signaling piece and what does that look like? And so a big one with that is balance. And what we're going to do as a group is some balance screenings and bring some awareness to what your balance might be doing, okay? So I'm going to walk through these and show you what they look like, and then we'll do them together. And if any of them feel uncomfortable, don't feel like you need to play along, but this will be a way to kind of get some information about how your balance is doing, okay? Why is balance a big deal?
All if you're not
Yeah.
balanced.
And so that,
Severe injuries, hips, bones.
exactly. Research shows you if you break a hip, you get about a year. And then it's lights out. That also ties into why I'm even here standing in front of you today is I never went to school and said, oh, learn how to help people with neuropathy. That was not my original, desire. Fast forward, I've been doing this for over 10 years now, specifically with neuropathy. And what got me into that was actually my dad, who fought 2 tours in Vietnam and had Agent Orange exposure, part of that. So neurotoxins. We got some heart disease and blood sugar issues in our family history, which he was starting to deal with that. So nothing was like emergent, right? But all these things were adding up, and now I know it was creating nerve damage for him. He was losing balance. But tough guy, I didn't want to tell you how bad it was. He didn't want to worry anybody. He could handle it. And our neighbor was out in the litter of puppies. And my dad got a heart of gold too, so he went up to he had a 2-story shed and went up to the top to get the kennel, with an extra kennel to help with the whelping box. And he's coming down the stairs with it. He lost his balance and he fell. And he ended up breaking his neck. And so that completely changed our whole family. Like he couldn't hug his kids and grandkids anymore. He had a hard time feeding himself. With the VA and all that, he chose to go to a nursing home instead of outfit the house. And back then, he had a 2-story house, so a master on the first floor that would be ADA compliant was probably $50,000 for nothing basic, not marble and gold, whatever. It's just contractor grade stuff. It's probably triple that now. Imagine. So we walked through every piece of this as a family. The financial, the emotional, the physical, the time element, like all of that. And if I can find a way to help you, we're going to do everything we possibly can to keep you from living that trajectory. Does that make sense? So we took that, experience, and then that led me to fly all over the country and study the best of the best and putting together protocols after work and what's working, what's not working, all the things we failed through in the last decade, to go to show you what's going on now. So that's the story behind why this even exists. We don't have the budget like Big Pharma does to, pump millions into, commercials or whatever. Like we're here telling people that are in our community, a few at a time, and sharing the love that way. So what I want to do now is show you the balance screen. That's why we really go full circle with that. If you got your balance, you get a whole lot longer shot at living a stronger, happier life. Make sense? So go ahead and stand up for me. Obviously, if you got a boot on, play as much as you want. But before we do this, you'll look at the person beside you and say, I got your back. We haven't had anybody fall down yet, so I don't intend today to be the first. So I'll walk you through this to show what that looks like. For all of them, hands go on the hips. Okay? The first one, and don't do this yet, but feet will go together, and we're going to close your eyes for 10 seconds. That's our baseline. If you fall over with that, we got bigger fish to fry, okay? Second one is going to be hands still on the hips, eyes open, and you're going to stand on your strongest leg and bring your knee as close to 9 as you can get it. 10 seconds there. If you pass that one, what's the last one you think?
Yeah.
Exactly. You got my joke. Joe got me. Yeah. So it would be eyes closed with one leg up. Although both would be, I'd love to see that one. Okay, you ready to go? Questions on that? All right. Hands on the head. I'll count us in. Feet as close together as you can. In 3, 2, 1. Close the eyes. And that's in 10 seconds. Nobody fell over. Good job. How'd you do? Wobbly. That's a great point, though, Teresa. So, scale of 1 to 10. 10 is I can do that all day long. And 0 is I'm wobbly, but bounce and fall over. Where were you at on that scale?
I was 1. I could feel myself
So what was
wobbling.
Mm-hmm.
So can you feel yourself wobbling? You as a normal person?
No, not normal.
Like, should you? Like, as a normal person, do you feel
I've never
yourself?
been down, ever.
It's common to have some awareness of the sway. That's, if you catch yourself, that's the key, right? Yeah. What I commonly hear, though, is like, I was about a mid-range. Like, I wasn't super comfortable with that, which then plays in the back of your mind, like, did I really negotiate that staircase? Do I have enough lighting? Do I have enough whatever, fill in the blank? And it's this, like, low level of fear that runs in your mind.
Yeah,
So that's-
the shower when I'm washing
Yeah,
my
shower,
hair.
exactly. Yep, all those kind of things. It just adds an extra layer of, right, instead of, oh, I'm at ease doing this, whatever that is. So, yeah, that's a good point. All right, right, next one. Ready? Hands on the hips. We're gonna stand on the strongest leg and eyes open for 10. Ready? Yeah, you're standing on the right one. That'd be amazing. Press that down. So I didn't tell you. If the foot touches, that's a fail. You can wobble all you want. If a hand comes off or you touch, that's a fail. Okay? So here we go. 3, 2, 1, and go. Thanks for playing. And there's 10. All right. So Joe passed that one. Who else passed that one? You passed that one too? Awesome. How'd you do?
I was
Iffy?
wobbling.
You're wobbling, but yeah. Okay. Well, for the sake of time, we're gonna skip that eyes closed one. It usually gets at least half the room when we do the one leg. Does that bring awareness? Your balance worse than you thought it was?
No, I knew it was.
You know it was that bad? Okay. Anybody better than you thought it was? No? Okay. So that just, again, brings some awareness to what's going on there. And that's a simple thing you can do to try to rehab the nerve. Right? So if you're at home, balance. Try one leg. Try the other. Eyes open, close. Make sure you have all the stabilizer. You will fall over. That's one way you can actually start to exercise that nerve pathway and try to get it to reestablish. Okay? So, with that, you can have a seat there, and we're going to actually show you now in real time, like what would this look like? What do we actually do? How do we reduce inflammation, start to get oxygen back, and make the nerves re-signal? Right? Those are the 3 drivers. So with that, who's had neuropathy more than, I don't know, a year or 2? So, okay. And you said the last 4 or so months have been pretty miserable.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But I've had issues before, like numbness in my feet, but not the tingling, the burning, all that other stuff.
Okay, that's just been worse recently.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Mine's like on the left side.
okay.
Yeah.
Like in an
I've
arm,
like
leg?
tingly, like since 2021. This finger have been like numb, tingly.
Ah, okay.
I went to a chiropractor.
Yeah.
I've gone everywhere, and like my feet sometimes. It's just the left side. I don't know why. Like at
Interesting.
night, the left side it hurts, but this is the side too. Though I got like the COVID vaccine.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
had rheumatoid. I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis in 2019, but at one time I was literally, I'm a phys ed teacher, so
Oh,
I
I
was
see.
like walking like this.
Yeah.
I couldn't even bend my fingers. I was
Oh my
picking up
goodness.
cones like that. So I've come a long way. I don't
Yeah.
know if it's due to myself pushing myself, or they also have me on methotrexate, which for the longest time I wouldn't take for a few years,
Sure.
and then I started taking it, but I don't even
Yeah.
take the full dose that they want me to.
Okay.
I just play along with it, but I kind of want to get off of it.
That makes sense. But
No.
you're still on one side.
Yeah, it's just
Okay.
the left side. And like I had a frozen shoulder here too
Uh-huh.
for like 5 months. I had to go to physical therapy. I
Wow.
couldn't lift. I had to.
I have some ideas. Donald, how long have you been dealing with this for?
I really don't know that I have it.
Okay, I just noticed the balancing of that. Just call
Yeah,
it
that
out,
was
so.
once I tried it again, I did better. But
Okay.
I do have some balance. I used to be in Taekwondo. I want to go back to it.
Okay.
So I want to get my balance better.
Yeah.
So there's a couple times when I go down the steps, I might feel a little tingling. That's about it. But most of the time, I don't seem to have that issue. But I'm always researching. I have an uncle that is really struggling with neuropathy. So
And you're here learning about that for him mostly.
for him.
Okay.
And then
Yeah.
of course, if that I don't know what's going on with me.
Yeah.
I always
You're scoring that for your own.
make sure that I don't go that route.
Yeah.
Either, but,
Okay. Love that.
And I was wondering because I have a lot of neck problems,
Uh-huh.
and I take this vibrator to massage my neck, and
Yeah.
sometimes when I do, I feel it go down to my feet.
Uh-huh.
So I feel like if I get my neck fixed,
And that haven't peed your pants yet though, right? Good. Just that'll be too much. Like you would stop at that before you get to that point.
Yeah.
There's a common like nerve overflow that can happen. So yeah, that's it's okay.
So that's something
Yeah.
that
That's curious. It could be other things, but yeah, that's curious.
I just wonder if the neck has something to do with it.
Yeah. So reason to get all that, but so neck has really strong attachments, what's called the dura, which is a connective tissue that wraps around the spinal cord, and it connects very strongly the top and the bottom. And so obviously the bottom would make sense if there's a foot problem or balance problem, but it can also get twisted up top from car accidents or injuries or infections or whatever, and that can also create issues the top down. Yeah, makes sense. So we got a whole mix here. What happened to your foot? Can I ask that?
I have Charcot foot.
Okay, gotcha.
I've had neuropathy since 2001.
Long time.
I gave up for many years.
That
I
makes
just
sense.
took the drugs and
Yeah.
lived my life. But now that I'm getting older and I
Mm-hmm.
have grandkids, I'm noticing that I can't keep up
Yeah,
as much as I used to.
yeah.
Had to stop riding motorcycle. Can't feel
Wow.
my feet, both of them.
Okay. So since you have a boot, kind of for the demo, kind of what's things. So I'm gonna go with Jeffrey.
Oh, I can take the boot off.
Oh, you can?
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm allowed
He's
to.
waiting for an insert.
I'm on type.
Ah.
I'm on stage 3 Charcot, so the damage is already done and it's just reforming now with the
Uh-huh.
bump on the bottom.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. There's support. Charcot's not one of the easiest ones for obvious reasons. Commonly, if we are able to help, it's usually a stop, slow the progression.
But I'd kind of like to make sure it
Keep
doesn't
the left
happen to
one.
that foot.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because you don't know that the damage is happening. I have no idea.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, when you're measuring it, you're just going like, oh, it's, whatever.
Like when I saw the CT scan, I'm like, what?
Yeah.
There's like broken bones in there and it's,
Wow.
collapsing,
Okay.
cysts.
Yeah.
I have
So,
no idea.
for the demo, that might be more than we can have
That's
the space
okay.
to like honestly do for that. So yeah, Jeffrey, you okay? We can pick you today.
You read what?
We're gonna pick you to get a little bit of help.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want.
Awesome. Come on up here for me. Stand up. We'll give a round of applause. I think we get clapped for like 4 times after we graduate high school, so we like to get a little bit more love we can. All right, so we're gonna check sway, which means I'm gonna push on you a little bit, see how you kick yourself, and then we're actually gonna measure the balance timing wise, and then we're gonna check his leg muscles and support to see if we can make changes or what's going on with that. Gonna get our assessment a little bit, and then we're gonna do a nervous system recovery trial. It's not really a treatment, but we're gonna add the technology we commonly would use to support this to see, does the nerve respond? Can we get it to do anything differently? Does that make sense? So you'll see what that looks like, but just kind of give that overview. We're gonna check stuff, we're gonna add some technology to see if anything changes in that process, okay? So if you stand right here for me, and nothing really hurts, that's the other thing you need to know, nothing's gonna hurt. All right, so I see his left shoulder a little higher than the right leg. Are you with me on that? So that tells me this muscle is probably not doing its job all the way, and if it were, that holds the shoulder down. So we're going to test that muscle and see if it's working. Turn your thumb backwards, elbow straight, pull this into your waist. Pull it in tight for me. Yeah, pull in real tight. That's the latissimus if you're curious. Pull this one in here. What do you notice there, Jeffrey? Which one's working?
Oh, you said this one.
That one, you see it like that, it couldn't budge that guy. So again, this isn't like we're just assessing to see what's going on with his whole nerve system. With the shoulder relaxed completely here. Decent range of motion, but now you should go and smack him in the ear. You should get better movement than that. The stick's right about there. With
My
this
left
one,
arm's always been a weak one.
has it been?
Yeah.
And the right one's not a whole lot better in terms of range. So maybe that changes, maybe it doesn't, I don't know, but just assessing to see what's happening. So now let's take balance. You ready? I'm going to push you forward right towards Celeste. I'm not going to let you fall on her though, okay? So you're going to lean back into my hand. I'm going to push you forward. Don't let me move you here. lean back in my hand. Yeah, he's trying. There's like nobody home on the extensors. All right, let's try this again going forward. Lean forward in my hand here, I'm pushing it back. Okay, so neither one of those is, you notice I can move them pretty easily. Now when you fall, if you were to fall, what's the best way to fall? You go backwards? Yeah, like everyone's gonna want to go forward. So commonly with this, I'll see the forward ones work, but like that's, anyway, when those don't work, there's other things going on in this nerve system. Lean toward me. Yep, I'm gonna move you to the center, don't let me move you. And so he's decent, I can add some pressure here, and he's not really budging too far. Let's have you lean to the right. And so a little worse going right. Lean toward me again here. Yeah, so that one moves. Lean toward me. And that one I can lean some body weight into. But forward and backward, he's got hardly anything there. Lean back again, just to make sure you're not making this up. No, so lean forward. So you notice how you're decent the one way and the others are not there yet. Okay, so yeah, no wonder he's going to be unsteady on his feet. Let's check the one leg up. Hands on the hips. All right. When you're ready, pick up your, stand on the strongest one. Eyes open. Whenever you're ready. Okay, so we got 4 seconds generously on that one. So we can make that any better. We're seeing changes in upregulation in the balance system. Make sense? So just things to notice. Let's have you sit here for me. And go ahead and keep those shoes off if you don't mind. Yeah.
I have a bad.
So let's do this. We're going to check his stair climbers, and then we're going to check his ankle supporters. Okay, because you need those to stand upright. So this knee's going to go up to the ceiling. You're going to raise it up. There you go. Pull it up in the air and push it on it. Don't let it push. That's pretty solid. Not going anywhere. Let's try the other one. Pull that up. So that's okay. Now we're going to check his hamstring in the back. Toe up. Pull that knee back, or pull the heel back. Yeah. Okay, so that one, notice how it moves. If you want to move around, feel free to see. Pull that back again. Yeah, so that one's a little mushy. Try the other one. That's the technical term, mushy. Pull the heel back for me. That one's okay. You notice that? What'd you notice here? Okay, yeah, it was pretty steady. Pull this one back again. What do you notice with that one? Yeah, it moves more. It's not like the other ones. So let's do heels on the floor. I'm pushing down to the top of the foot. Hold that one up. Okay. Try the other one here. Okay. And so his shin muscles aren't, that's the stabilizers, right? When you're going forward and backwards. And so that's not firing the way it needs to keep them upright. Bring this up a little bit. You're going to point the toe down. That's the calf. You can feel that contract. Pull the heel backwards for me there. Yeah. And so we see that one fade. Try this one. Pull it back. And so the right side, calf and hands are decent. Toes up to the interiors are inhibiting. Are you tripping over steps and curves?
I'm actually, my balance is pretty good at the moment, for the most part. But I've got really bad like burning and needles poking through. And
in the hands or in the feet or both?
started off with the left, and it went to the left and right, and now it's getting to my hands and sometimes
Oh, wow.
to the side of my head.
Wow.
So that's what I am.
Okay. Let's
I
try it
tried
again.
everything. I got the red lights. I literally every time I eat them on the treadmill, I try to watch what I eat. I try to do that, and it's still going the wrong way.
Wow.
It's going the wrong way and bigger. So
Okay. Let's see if you can figure out.
I can't hardly wear shoes.
Oh.
They're bad. My feet, they're bad.
Okay.
So
Fingers open like this. I'm going to close the fingertips. I'm going to close them there, Jeffrey. Yeah. This one here, open that up.
I mean, vitamin B stuff like candy.
Maybe it's your job, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
Even tablespoons of cayenne pepper.
Yeah.
Doing everything I can possibly. If I wouldn't have done that right now, I'd be a total wreck.
Wow.
But everyday deal.
Okay.
So,
You're still after it.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not giving them yet. I'm really active, really, really active. I mean, where I work, I have to go up and down steps. I do it probably 40, 50 times a day. I'm like, God, I run at my job. I've been running for 40 some years.
Got it.
Doing it, but I deal with a lot of chemicals.
Okay.
That, I believe, has a lot to do with the start of it. And then doing the cataract surgery, I had
Yeah.
two. Got the first one was fine. The second one, the day after, hit me like a ton of bricks. And I literally haven't slept a full night since then.
Oh man.
Like maybe 2-3 hours of sleep. That's it. That's all I get. And like I have a hard time focusing on a lot of stuff except for like my jaw. I'm still pretty good. Like right now, I mean, I can feel the burning through the back of my hands and nonstop in my feet. I mean, although they're a lot better now, with that I take off vitamins.
Sure. Yeah.
But I couldn't even drink water for a while. It took me a long time. It was just a teeny little warm water here and there. So I thought it was dead. I thought it was going to die. And it bounced back to here, but now it seems like it's just still progressing no
Yeah.
matter what I do. So
Man.
I'm here for whatever I can get.
Let's see what we can do. We'll see what happens. If his nerves can respond
The
here.
chiropractor.
Yeah.
Never had, but for 10, 15 years, had no back pain at all. Always been pretty good that way, all that stuff. I work 7 days a week. I work 2 jobs. Stress has a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
No doubt. But
Yeah.
anywho,
Well, for now, just sit back and relax. We don't need to say a lot during this next piece. We're going to actually let the technology do some work. Dr. Jeff's going to help. It's important here. And I'll walk you through what's happening as he's.
Let's have you take your socks off for me if that works.
Yeah.
these were actually turning black, and now they're getting better.
Wow.
Now I'm in bad shape, dude. But these are all sores, and they're somewhat healing now. But
Mm-hmm. Well, I commend you for keeping at it, Jeffrey. That's like,
I got no choice. I'm ready to go.
Well, yeah.
My blood work is all good. My doctor told me I'm boring, but I don't trust the things.
Okay, fair. Yeah. And that brings up a good point too. They're looking for disease. We're looking through a different lens of what's optimal function, which is different than a disease level, right? So you can have nerve symptoms.
Yeah.
If your numbers aren't in the optimal range, you can still have things going on. So we use a different tighter range and a different lens.
Is that too much or is that okay?
Oh, it's pretty much. But
How's that there? Still feeling it?
want to do.
Okay.
So what we're doing here is those three levers we're pulling on. So the wires to the feet, that's digital electrotherapeutic stimulation,
For a moment, I'll lean back.
which is, you may have heard of a TENS unit. It's not a TENS, that's 1950s technology. TENS doesn't work for this stuff. This is actually real-time nerve rehab. So this is the nerve signaling piece. It's literally sending a signal to the nerve. The nerve is responding it, and then the machine is picking up what the new signal is and then making the next best. So like every 4 milliseconds, it's changing and rehabbing the nerve in real time. Okay, so we're getting nerve to reestablish with the digital electrotherapeutics. Light therapy. Now he's got red light, but red light has been researched for over 50 years now at least. And one of the main effects is it makes more energy for the body, and you heal faster with more energy. Right? 2 is it makes your blood vessels dilate. And then you can actually regrow new blood vessels with red light. So again, we're doing this to get blood flow back into the tissues and start to improve that, right? Also, where do you feel anything? Do you feel it in your hand? Do you feel it in your foot? It's a trick question. Feel it in the brain, right? Your parietal lobes in the brain actually make sense of what you're feeling, whatever that sensation is. Hot, cold, pain, tingling, whatever that is, that's your brain signals. We're actually improving circulation in the brain and central nervous system, which is where we actually perceive what we're feeling. Does that make sense? So, light does this, right? It reduces inflammation, gets blood flow back. We've got digital electrotherapeutics that are actually rehabbing the nerve signaling. Vibration therapy does a few things. One is it supports the balance nerves. Two is it helps with blood flow. You ever push a hand mower? What happens to the hands after a while? Right? The old numb tingling, right? So that's pushing blood flow out. It's the wrong vibration. We can use the right vibration. It actually will increase blood flow for several hours afterwards, which is pretty cool. So good vibes help the brain, help the blood flow, light therapy, and then digital stimulation for the nerve rehab. Other things we this is typical for home use. And that's the other thing is when I started out, I was just treating people in the office. And scheduling wise, they might get in once a week, twice a week. But beyond that, it was hard to get. Right? The schedules are what they are. So we had very marginal results initially. And they're like, well, let's do a hybrid model. So we'll see them in the office, maybe weekly, maybe every other week, depending on what that might be, depending on how severe it is, what's going on. But the huge game changer is when you're doing this every single day at home. That's when you got, it's like going to the gym, multiple times a week instead of once a month. Does it make sense? So the more you can treat the nerve the right way, that's when you actually get benefit and make changes in the long run. That's not just the nutrients go right. So there's so the synergy of all the working together, we're changing the environment for that whole plant, if you will, to regenerate and to re-nourish. Does that make sense? Awesome. So this is not designed to go into all the details of the technology, what it's, but that's the nutshell. We're getting blood flow back, we're getting nerve signaling back, and we're getting inflammation down. Okay? Other therapies we might utilize, if there's a low back disc, for example, this table in the back, a little chair in the back, that actually will decompress the lumbar spine and open up the space in the joint so we can get the nerve to free up. Same thing next one is with the knee. So we have like knee problems or bone on bone with knees. We can actually traction the knee and get the space back in that joint and save knee surgeries. This table here and the chair that Jeffrey's in, that's pulse electromagnetic fields. So when your cell phone dies and you put it on the induction charger, it recharges the cell phone, right? Your body's the same way. So this will actually, not somebody turn it on, I blink the battery in my computer, so I'm not doing that today. But this will actually recharge your cells and energize them. So then when you got enough energy in the cell, it can do a whole lot more healing.
What's your thoughts on grounding mats?
Great idea.
Okay.
Yeah, for most people that are dealing with neuropathy, grounding mats would be a full-time job. And hardly anybody has the time to do that. But getting those electrons are critical, which actually brings up another tool we can use is microcurrent, which actually puts those electrons in specific tissues.
Right.
So for example, if the nerve is inflamed, there's a setting to reduce inflammation in the nerve. If the nerve is infected, there's the settings to actually reduce infection or support immune function in the nerve, not the muscle, so it's going to get that targeted with what we need to address. But absolutely, energy debt is a major problem for neuropathy sufferers. Right? Because if your body doesn't have enough energy, it can't heal it. So what are the three, this has got a little extra workshop. What are the three main sources of energy? Light.
Oxygen, air.
Those are all necessary nutrients in terms of energy, because you can have those things, but they don't actually do anything unless you have energy. Right? You energy to make stomach acid, you're in trouble. Or to chew it, right? So we want like even baseline, like what do we? So we'll demystify it. Light energy from the sun. We get Earth's electromagnetic fields, right? And the other one would be electrons, which would be grounding, that sort of thing, right? So those are the three basics we need to actually have enough energy for the food to work, for the oxygen to work, for those things to actually function in the system. So we use technology to make that energy replenish, because not everybody can stand on the ground for 8 hours a day, right? You have other things you got to do. Does that make sense? So we're leveraging technology to make that improve. How are we doing, Doc? Awesome. Questions on any of that? I'll mention one other piece that is in our back room here. I should put a slider for that, but it's soft wave therapy. And soft wave is tissue regeneration therapy. What does that mean? It looks like an ultrasound wand, and it sends a radio wave into the tissue, and basically it recruits blood vessels and your own stem cells to heal the tissue. So it's all over. Olympics have it. Eagles have at least 2 in their locker room. So anything related to blood flow and joints, it's almost like cheating. It's super amazing. So that's another technology we can support with as well. And the whole goal is, again, to put energy back into the system so your body can do its own natural healing. So let's see how we're doing that. Thanks, Doc.
You're welcome. Don't want to forget the lasers.
Yeah. So now we're going to just go back and recheck what we saw initially. And which side was weaker, the right or the left?
The left.
Left one? Bring your feet, we'll do both heels up. That was, heels on the floor and toes up. Sorry. There we go. Yeah, let them rest right on the floor. There we go. I'm pushing on the top of the foot. Don't let me move that. How's that doing now? Did you notice that?
Yeah.
I'm pushing 3 times as hard. Lift that up with my hand here. Is your foot moving? Do you remember what happened in the first round? What did you guys see before we did the intervention? It went plop. Yeah. Now it's not. What do your feet feel like now? I'm just curious what you're noticing.
Just a little numb, but not the tingling.
So the tingling is
That definitely.
better.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Cool.
Yeah. I even do the oh my God, the frequency therapy for and the tinnitus for this too.
Yeah.
Severe. I got bad nerve problems going on
Yeah.
here.
But what did you notice so far? What changed?
Really nothing, to be honest with you.
Okay, look, you just.
I mean, they're fine. I mean,
Yeah.
like now things are coming back. So the cold's coming back in.
Uh-huh. Is the tingling coming back already?
A little bit,
A
yeah.
little bit? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So we did a demo. We saw, okay, we can actually change some nerve function. Let's keep going.
Yeah.
Pull your heel back for me here. Pull this one back. So that one didn't break. Pull this back. Is that the sturdier like the right one?
Yeah. I know.
So I didn't see a ton of weaknesses, but I mean, the fact that his ankles are actually working is a giant deal. Let's have you just stand up. Oh, yeah.
Still look like I'm standing on my foot.
Yeah. Well, that's probably our next thing because we did measure that to begin with, right? So let's have you stand here again for me. Yeah. And let's see about that shoulder. What do you notice here?
Still a little bit.
It's a little bit, but he's like, it's actually more level. Pull this into your waist, hold that in tight. What happened to that one?
It's stronger.
Yeah. Pull in again. Okay. Let that relax completely. Let it go heavy. Check your range of motion now. Let me do it all. There you go. Yeah. You're off the job now, buddy.
All right.
Yeah. I got you. Let that go
a
ahead.
minute first.
Yeah. What happened with range of motion?
All the way up.
Did we stretch him? Did we do 6 weeks of PT?
No.
Let that relax. What do we do? That's both sides. His shoulders haven't moved like that in years. Let's try it this way. Lean back into my hand here. Okay, what do you notice in there? Now, can I shove him? Yeah, that's not the point. Like, I'm leaving body weight into it, he's not moving. For sustaining however long that's been, 10 seconds or so. Lean toward me here. Good, that one's still good. Lean to the right when you're ready. All right, what do you notice in there? I'm asking you these questions because your brain is changing. I want you to be aware of it.
Right.
What are you noticing? Are you seeing
Yep.
what I'm seeing? Yeah, so I'm not trying to pick on you. I'm just trying to
No,
bring awareness to you.
I'm my head's going to feeling the beat because
Yeah.
I've been consumed with it for
100%.
months.
Yeah, there's no.
All that other crap means shit to me, man. It's
Right, yeah.
really, to be honest with you.
No, I get it.
Right.
Yeah, I get it. Lean forward to my hand here. So, what'd you notice with that one?
I'm pretty
A
good
little
at
better.
balance, yeah.
So I get it that the feet are still the thing,
Right.
and that's all consuming.
But that's my next scare point is the balance because I'm
Yeah.
watching and learning what the progression is going to be.
Right.
And so far everything's been going in the direction that I'm seeing,
Yeah.
and the balance is still okay.
Yeah. That's gotta be scary though.
It is scary.
Yeah.
I've never been a heavy drinker, but I drank a lot
Sure.
here and there. 2-3 drinks and I black out. I'm done. And so I don't know what's going on with that. So no more drinking, no more smoking pot, and all that shit.
Okay. Yeah.
Can't do it no more.
So-
For the first time in my life, I can pass piss test, man.
There you go.
It is what it is.
So do you see the nervous system responding?
Yeah.
I
That's
can feel
telling
it.
me.
Yeah, I can definitely feel it.
That's telling me no. We didn't treat. We just going. We're giving it some energy. What is his body going to do with it? I don't know. That's why we're looking at a multitude of things. Obviously, his main focus is his feet. We'd have to evaluate more what's going on specifically there, but going like, we made neurological change in the system. Has anybody seen a neurological change that quickly before?
No.
Can you see why? Imagine doing that twice a day for 90 days, 120 days, right? Nutrition's right. All those things are working in your favor now. Can you see why we can say 50 to 100% improvement for where you are? That's what we're talking about. The fact that we can see change in the demo lets me know his nerves are not totally gone to the point where there's no hope. That's the main objective, is go, can this actually respond? Right? So that's what we're going for on that.
Yeah.
We've had people that go in and my feet are feeling normal for the first time in however long, just from the demo. And some people it's like that. Other people, there's a lot else going on. We got to figure out what, so let's just try to show you though, we had the right energy. Right, we're seeing neurological change. That's a giant deal. Yeah. Now with Charcot, I'm not gonna lie, that may not be the case. I don't know yet, but yeah, there's more complexities with that. But definitely, the concepts still apply to support what is still available. Yeah. Jeffrey, thank you for playing.
No problem.
Yeah. You're welcome to put some shoes on here for you. Yeah. That seems a good chair. Yeah.
I do have a question.
Yeah.
What would the cataract surgery have to do with that?
Anesthesia is what I'm told, that you have to be careful when you get to a certain age with the anesthesia. I've been to several doctors, natural doctors.
Yep.
And believe it or not, they don't want you getting cataract surgery till you're retired on government programs. So that way they can suck you into the system for the most part. That's what it amounts to.
Right.
I have a friend of mine that has all the effects of Parkinson's now and bad. He's been going to the gym his whole lifetime. Not really a smoker, very, very few drinks, whatever. And he's a mess, man. He's a mess. But they have him on meds. I try to tell him not to do them. I haven't done any. I've done gabapentin for about 6 months, but only 1 week. It would actually mellow me out a little bit. I really didn't do a whole lot, and I stopped doing them right before I got my cataract surgery. Nobody told me that they were addicting. I should have. All he told me was like my feet, like you could poke them with a needle and I couldn't feel it. And they felt like they were popping up a little bit. I think there's other issues too. I don't know, but I can't get anywhere with doctors at all. They're all like, oh, it's anxiety. That's all it is.
Oh, wow.
I worked in the medical field 20 years, so that's why I'm out of it.
Gotcha.
Right.
So
Yeah,
you've
It's
seen
like
enough to
all we
know.
do is drugs or surgery,
Yeah.
and this is
Right.
way better.
Yeah.
So right after I don't know what happened. Right after the second cataract surgery, it hit me like the tinnitus, the whole like feet sweating. I mean, like profusely, like.
So we kind of fit into this like systemic toxic burden, and that went into the straw that broke the camel's back. I don't know, but that's
I deal with a lot of chemicals at work.
Yeah.
All those things infused too. I don't do I have complete fresh air stuff.
Even Jeffrey, even with all that, we saw your nervous system respond.
Right.
In real
And
time.
I'm
Cool.
if I get that, I'm happy.
Okay.
For anything I get, because it's all keeps going the wrong direction.
Got it.
And
Yeah.
I'm not doing everything I should be doing. The diet's a tough one for me. I've been a soda drinker.
Yeah.
Like the caffeine, my gosh, living without caffeine is a tough deal for me.
Mm.
But there's a lot of things that I'm going out and smoking.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
Well, thanks for playing.
no problem.
Come on over here. I was thinking it'll see a little better from your angle. And just thanks for being involved with Cheryl. That's like a lot of history to dig through with
That's why I'm here, man.
Yeah. Thanks for
I'm here.
that. Questions on anything you've done so far?
I guess, how do you know whether you're too far gone?
Yeah, we measured it.
Okay.
And I'm going to show you that next piece. And I was like, well, how do we actually do
Like
this?
before you commit to
Oh, yeah.
something.
Oh,
you-
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so that's going to be a make sure it's a match on both sides. If there's something going on that we're not equipped to handle, we're going to refer to where you might need to be to get your support. So it's a collaborative thing. Yeah. No one's committing to anything right now. That's so the main question, like we're saying with Jeffrey, is your body able to recover and how far? That's the question. And are your nerves able to respond is our main first question we got to figure out. And so here's what that looks like. On day one, we're going to do our nerve damage assessment. We're actually going to do, like you mentioned, what can you feel, what can you not feel, hot, cold, all the different, vibration, etc. What are your nerves doing? And then with that, in the motor testing, we can see what sort of nerve damage is present. Okay. We do our circulation and oxygen delivery. It looks like a pulse oxygen put on the finger. Non-invasive. We know in up to 5 minutes what the circulation is looking like in the extremities. We look at your fall risk. We actually do a force plate that will measure your fall risk and give us a number and actually monitor your swing pattern. We can see that improve. Is your neck involved? Is it, we can see different things like that with that testing. And then we'll figure out what are the primary drivers. Is it purely neurological? Is it inflammation? Is it oxygen? Is it some combination of all three? Most people, that's the case. And then if improvement's realistic. What are we looking at? We gotta say no pressure. Just try to get you answers. Okay. So normally we have a 2-day process, like most doctors do. We have our consult. We do our comprehensive neurological exam and the advanced diagnostics. And we put that together as a team and go, what's going on? What do we hit first, next, and last? What's going to support them? What are their goals? All that information. And then we go over your report on the second day and also do a similar response test that we did for Jeffrey to see are your nerves able to, get where we want to go. Okay. So all that, if you itemize it for insurance, would be $975. But you're also going to get a chart that looks like this to let you know, severity-wise, are we in acute, moderate, severe, or have you crossed that threshold into permanent? And let you know where that's at. That gives us time frames for healing in terms of the severity, right? So questions I commonly get then are, how do I know if it's going to work for me? Well, that's why we're going to do our assessment, figure out what's wrong. Are we actually able to support you and help you? And what would that entail? How long does it take to see improvement? Well, for Jeffrey, it was a couple minutes, right, to see changes. Now, to notice improvement, it's not uncommon to see changes in the first 4 to 6 weeks. people are noticing just like a little better. My feet are, numbness and tingling's not as bad, or whatever the symptoms are we're monitoring. Full healing though can take 12 to 18 months depending on the severity. Insurance coverage, what do you think? No. Sadly. Yeah. Medicare writes the guidelines, and then all the insurance companies follow that pattern. And Medicare has said, get questions so often, I put a little Medicare guideline in your handout. Basically, in paraphrasing, if the care plan is designed to make your quality of life better, it's not medically necessary. Go figure. They'll pay for your walkers and wheelchairs and amputations and all that, but they won't pay for your medications, but they won't pay for you to actually get better. That's what it is. That's a broken system that we're not a part of. It's just, it doesn't do it. So I mention that because, just to be super transparent and honest, it's going to be out of pocket. Okay? And don't want to, pretend that it's not. And then that brings up the question, what does care typically cost? Well, that depends on what's going on and what we need to do. So, and what your goals are. So I would say averages, we're going to have care plans that start in the neighborhood. If we're looking at like stopping progression and moving toward reversal, averages are going to start in that probably 3,000 to 4,000 range, and we can go up from there. Most people are, it's not 50, 80,000, something like that. Usually 10 to 15 can be a solid average for like a really, really good year-long and beyond care plan. It gives you equipment that you own, and then you can take care of yourself for, my goal is to not have you be here forever. Right? That I want you to be able to get better, get the improvement you're looking for, and then move on with your life, and then tell us thank you. That's, if we can support you in other ways in that journey and, improve other parts of your health, we'd love to support in that. But my goal with the neuropathy is, hey, let's get you feeling better, get your body actually working better, getting part of your life back, and then we can go from there. Does that make sense? So typically, though, we are following patients for at least a year to make sure things are going the right way. Okay. One of my exam shows, I'm not a candidate. We're going to get you into some other good hands. We got a lot of other people in our network that we trust, and if we network meaning other docs that think similarly. They're not living in insurance network, right? But in a healthcare concept, we'll get you into some other good people, right? So it should be a win-win with this sort of thing. So 2 paths: keep managing your symptoms, more meds, less feeling, fear of falling, giving things up, or we can figure out what the real cause is. Get your circulation and nerve signaling back. Get balance and confidence, get you a clear path moving forward. So what does that look like? Here's what we do if you want to take advantage of that. We've got some spots available that we set aside for the workshops. You're not going to pay $975. It's going to be $150 for both visits. I want this to be a no-brainer. That's going to cover everything we need to do on day 1 and 2. That gives us information on can we help you and what would be the plan moving forward. And then beyond that, we can talk about what funds and all that sort of would be necessary to get you where you want to go. Okay? So $150 covers everything for both visits. Is that clear enough? Mm-hmm. I've had other people go, what's that line?
The both visits of what you.
Right, so instead of $975,
yeah.
maybe $150. You spent some time with us on a beautiful Tuesday evening and saw some cool stuff with Jeffrey. And I want to make that as easy as possible to figure out what's happening, can we help you, and what does it look like for the next steps. Okay.
What did you say the cost was? Say you said to go with it for a year.
Yeah, depending, right? So regardless of whether you're in the acute phase and we're a lower price care plan, we're going to follow for a year. Most patients we're monitoring for at least a year. So that amount would cover a year's worth of check-ins and typically quarterly.
How much is that?
Like I said, plans start around the 3,000 to 4,000 range and can go up from there. We have some people that go, I love this technology idea. I want to use it for my whole entire family. And so they invest in everything, right? And got some people want to do that because they see the value in supporting their family because like the doctors aren't doing what, so we can energize the whole family. Cool, let's do that. So we can have those conversations, but just to give you an idea, starting probably in 3 to 4 range and averages, if we're like in the severe category, we're going to be in the 10 to 15 range. Yeah, and there'll obviously be more intensive treatments and so on and so forth. Yeah. That does include not just the equipment, your office visits, the nutrition, the diet plan, like everything we would need to do to take care of you would be in those. We go over all that, but it's like these estimates, right? Like, hey, here's what we're estimating, so there's no surprises. We're not hiding anything. Does that make sense? Other thing to mention, there's other ways to make that affordable, like
It's a shame when you gotta worry about how much
I know.
Right.
you gotta, why you have to be worried about making a living.
Yeah.
Trying to help people. You go to the doctor's office and they don't give a shit and it's way more than that.
oh, I know.
Trust me.
I find out everything just Googling,
That's,
and I'll say
well,
to the doctor this and that, and
you
they're
have to be careful there because I've been running down rabbit holes now for 4 months.
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah, and that's it, like, we're trying to help you save time, like, is this something that's even worth pursuing right now, or do we need to shift gears, or, where are we at, and, how we take the guesswork out of this thing. So, questions on any of that?
how long is the assessment?
Typically about an hour. Everything we need to do is in the office, unless we need, yeah. Say that again?
You say just on Tuesday?
No, that would be whatever's available, it's gonna be about an hour for the assessments.
And what are the assessments and what exactly?
Yeah, so we would do essentially balance. We'd actually monitor your muscle responses and your sensory, and then go over all your consult, and if you have any imaging or lab work, we review that too.
Right.
Yeah. Yep. Blood flow checks, all that stuff. Thermal imaging. Other questions?
So if you did start doing this, would you stop taking the Lyrica, do you stop taking that?
It's outside
right
my
away?
scope to tell you one way or the other to do that. I would
Like, cause
say
right
my
now, like, I
experience-
don't, because I'm medicated, I
Right.
don't feel the pain and the tingling. I mean, they're still numb,
Right.
so I.
That's just changing perception for numbness, tingling. It doesn't change sensory perception. In other words, like hot, cold, it should not be changing
Oh, I
that.
can't tell hot cold.
Right. So that,
You never want to stop any medication directly, abruptly.
that would be,
Ever.
that would be something
I
we.
know, but I don't know how you would measure, like,
Well, you'd have to get off.
Well, then we see where you are with what you're doing, get baseline of what that is, and then you have conversations around changing dosages or whatever with your primary. Will that make sense? And if that's something we can even, if that's even advisable, right? So there's questions to answer before we get to that.
cause that's my
piece.
goal, I don't wanna take the
I see,
Lyrica,
yeah.
I don't wanna take them.
Yeah. And so, I mean,
They're horrible.
from that standpoint, it's not like a blood pressure medication that you would need that's like life
Right,
sustaining.
it's not life sustaining.
Right. So from that standpoint, a lot of it is patient discretion if you want to use it or not. That gives you more information, but again, it's outside my scope to.
Yeah, no, I know you can't tell me to stop taking,
Right.
but I wondered if other people.
Oh, we see. I would say this: most of my patients that are already getting treatment of some sort are on a really good gabapentin, something like that when we do our assessments. It's not abnormal at all. Yeah,
And
we're
they
not
can
uncommon.
tell a difference, even medicated?
So for the ones that we can support and help, commonly the reducing amount of medication that they're using or eliminating it, that's not an uncommon experience that I've seen. Yeah, does that happen for everybody? No, but yeah, I would say that's not uncommon. Most people have that same goal. I don't want to take meds. Right? It's more like, what can we do to support you so that we're not.
So what I'm understanding, if you come to the discovery day
Mhm.
and it's $150, then we discuss, can you help me, can't you help me, and then
Right. We do our
we go
assessments.
forward from there.
Right. What are your goals?
Or
What's your body
you say
showing?
I can't help you.
Right.
Okay.
And if it's obvious on day one, we don't need a whole extra. It's like, hey, look, this is beyond we can support. We're going to see that in our assessments.
Because it's been so long, I kind of lost faith.
Yeah.
So,
Don't blame you. Yeah. So, like I said, with my dad's story, if we can support you, we're going to. If we're not going to waste your time and money, because that's the last thing we're going to do. We spent a decade building this reputation and finding out ways that help that nobody else is doing. And if we can help you, we will. And if we can't, I'm just going to tell you straight. I hate to say it, but like, honesty shouldn't be the thing you have to deal with in the doctor's
Right.
office, but there we go. So I want to wrap up with this. I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here and learning and actually seeing some cool response with Jeffrey. If you saw something valuable, really helpful, to just shoot the QR code and give us a 2-word Google review. cool information, whatever. Like it can be longer than that, but just like, it doesn't have to be complicated. Is my point. That just helps our community know there's information out there that can be supportive and helpful. And then I would, if you want to get more to the bottom of this, check with Alyssa, and she'll help you get set up on first available times for.
I'm here right now, and I got $150 in my pocket.
Cool. I wish I had time to do that today,
Okay.
but we probably have time soon this week.
All right, I'll take a look.
Yeah. Don't let me stop you. You're welcome to go chat with her now. I'm gonna wrap things up here.
Be perfectly fine with that. So
Um,
I want to see, because I gotta know if you're the only person that's out there. I don't know.
okay.
I gotta get this taken care of.
Yeah. Feel free to go chat with Alyssa. She'll get you squared away.
Can I call in to schedule an appointment? Like,
Yeah.
you guys already have, because I have my calendar booked at home.
Yeah.
I'm getting ready to go to
So,
the
I got it.
class.
Yeah, no worries. Call us
But I
in.
definitely want to.
We'll know you're here.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
So my
I'll call tomorrow.
my question is that do you have a network of people who are trained like you? Because my uncle is in Allentown.
Okay.
So I mean, I wish you could come here and treat it, but I'm saying this, is this something where,
Yes, other dogs that have similar concepts with the neuropathy piece. In the state of Pennsylvania, at least, I know we're the only one doing the way we do it. Like, they're just the way we combine it, and the things I've gotten to learn and put together is unique. That being said, maybe.
yeah,
And or, again, with a hybrid model, we may not only need to see them periodically frequently, so it wouldn't be,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
right. Yeah, because the equipment, he's already doing some things, he's trying some things. I
Yeah,
think he hasn't got on the medication yet,
okay.
but he's doing like exercise and doing everything he can, but I don't think it's enough.
Thanks, Celeste. Good to meet you.
How do I get out of here?
Oh, that way into the right. There's
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
See, you look
so-
familiar, I don't
so-
know.
You know, if he would, if he could do a lot of it from home,
Yeah.
Mhm.
that might be helpful. Like the
Yeah.
equipment part of it may be,
I know even during COVID, we would do like a virtual assessment. And
so if he, I mean, it's not like, it's not like in California, so he could drive here.
Right.
Or we could bring him here.
that's ideal to do it in person.
The first one, at
patients
least.
out in Pittsburgh, and we
Yeah.
go virtual and we do the best we can on that one, and then if it's
But
I
if
mean,
we
that's
give him
the
in
missing
person,
options. If you give it in person, it'd be way better. It would actually
and then after that, he could do virtual and just to discuss
typically,
issues.
yeah. When my neighbors, I'm assuming like we might only be to see him once a quarter or once, I don't know.
Yeah.
But just like it would be less frequent than, you need to be here, for whatever frequency. So there's options I'll try to share with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can solve problems.
So, I'd like to talk to your staff or you or whatever about. So I don't know, like I said, I got a couple numbness. Every once in a while, I go down the steps, I'll feel something roll pins in me, like something as I step down, something happens. But my biggest thing is my neck.
Oh, right.
And it's like I actually saw you when you did the Lyme seminar.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I remember, and I was
Yeah.
going to talk to you then. I talked to you a little bit, but I was like, I'm not getting the results I want. And I'm getting massage, I'm getting adjustments, I'm getting,
Yeah.
And it helps. Like 2 days later, I'm back, and so I
Yeah.
don't know if you have anything unique for that because
Yeah, it's probably not good for your head and neck then. It's probably from, emotions or feet or immune system or some combination of things like that.
I'm familiar. I know a chiropractor that developed the Notion code.
Oh, okay.
And so I know that sometimes when you're not getting better physically, there's something going on emotionally. So I wouldn't doubt that.
Yeah.
And I've actually done some work with that too.
Cool.
But I like to find out,
Yeah.
whatever I'm doing, it's not still enough.
Mhm.
And I feel like if I can solve that, I mean, I'm doing a lot of that. I'm 64.
Mhm.
It's not colored. This is blonde.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm
Yeah.
doing good at it. The thing that makes me feel bad usually, like today, I was nauseous. And I think it's because my neck was out of line, pressure on that nerve.
Mm.
And I went to do intermittent fasting like try to work on weight.
Mhm.
And then feel nauseous, I want to eat because I don't want to feel nauseous.
Sure.
So I feel like if I get the neck fixed,
Mhm.
then I'm going to work on the knee. And I was interested in your decompression thing too,
Uh-huh.
because when I went to physical therapy, they would pull down on me. Because of course the doctor wants to do a knee replacement.
Right. Yeah.
And I have his card. I'm going to keep working on it until I repair it, and I'm going to say, yeah, I don't need a knee replacement.
Well, the knee bone's connected to the neck bone, so they might be related, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it turns out, like, we would do the same. We would obviously do a different assessment for what's going on for you, but we're putting some of the same fee. In other words, 150 would get you the assessment.
All right.
Yeah.
Might
So that's
do
all
that.
for you, Donald. And yeah, start
Yeah,
listening.
I might work with it. I got to. I'm retired Navy.
Okay. Thanks for your
So I get
service.
paid on the first, and then I have now Social Security because I'm 64,
Mhm.
and it's nice to get money without having to work for it. I still work.
Well, you worked your whole life, and now you're getting a little kickback. It's gonna happen,
Yeah, yeah.
right? Yeah.
But,
I hear
yeah.
you. Yeah.
So,
Question?
yes.
Yeah.
So I'm getting a custom orthotic. I'm waiting for that appointment and stuff, so I'm thinking that probably I should wait for that first consult after I get that. Or does it matter? Because I'm only in this boot to protect, because I have a big knot on the bottom of my foot about this big. And they don't want it to get like pressure wounds worse.
Are they doing a rigid orthotic, like to splint it, if you will, or is it flexible?
I feel like it's flexible, yeah. Yeah, to put in my shoe.
Mhm.
They first fit me for a pro boot, and then I told my doctor, and he's like, no, that's not what I wanted.
Mm.
He said, you're beyond, you're stage 3, it's already healed.
Mm-hmm.
So we just have to protect the deformity.
Oh, okay.
I guess.
Yeah.
So
I
does
don't
it
know
matter?
if it would matter before
Okay.
we need to find out.
Okay.
Typically with neuropathy, waiting's a bad idea.
Well, yeah, I've waited for 25 years.
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, the sooner would be the better. Just like
Okay.
putting my like what's best for you hat on would be honestly the sooner we can find out what's happening, what else involves.
Yeah.
Sure.
I just basically gave up because they wanted to do blood work after blood work and test after test, EMGs
Yeah.
like every year. And
Wow.
they were just, I was just like, what is this telling me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still numb.
It's progressing, or
Like,
like
it's
there's
still
no
there.
interventions they have that are supportive, really.
Yeah, it's awful. So, okay,
Yeah.
well, that's great. No, it's very,
Don't want
yeah. We're only getting older, right?
Exactly.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're still going, huh?
Just getting started.
Thanks for tuning in.